Greetings, Darklings, from across the interweb. It is once again I, the Duchess Precious Ken, here for the Sounds and Shadows podcast. And I'm coming off here an exciting week. On Wednesday, I got to see Ash Code and meet them live in person for the first time. They're over here on an American tour. If you have never seen the amazing dark wave disco that is Ash Code, it is a real experience to take in. And then Thursday, our dear friend of the show, Bradley Bills, was on tour drumming for Frontline Assembly. So he had me come to that show. I got to take my Uncle Steve, who was the one who took me to Frontline Assembly for the first time when I was 19. So it was awesome to get to return the favor and get to have that experience with him. And Monday, we're going to Twin Tribes. So it is just a live music extravaganza for me this week as we get ready for opening for Voltaire. So I have a really exciting interview here, our earliest interview ever on a Saturday because of time zone shifts. I got to be up here because it is an amazing dark electronica artist from Germany. And the band is called Extra Human, and it is my pleasure to have Johannes with us. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me too. Thank you.
Did I butcher your name when I said that just now? Johannes?
No, it's all fine.
Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome to the show. And the first thing I always like to do when, having a new artist on that maybe a lot of our listeners might not be as familiar with here in America is tell me a little bit about your musical history and that you had a moment somewhere along the way where you saw a band, you heard a record for the first time, something happened, and you said, this kind of electronica dance music is for me. And it became a part of your life. Tell me a little bit about what that moment was that started you down this path and made you love this scene and this music.
Yes, I started listening to music when I was quite young and started with vinyls for my father, and then was the usual, 70s rock, Pink Floyd and whatsoever. But I mean, more interesting or more important for what I'm doing now is, of course, Joy Division. I found that a record from Joy Division in our local library, and it was in the late 90s. And I had no idea if it's cool or not. I just liked the music. I think that was quite influential moment to darker music.
Yeah.
And also another important moment was there's a British band called The Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
It's more post-punk, shoegaze, and album, I think it was 2009, Primary Colors.
Yeah.
That really influenced me, because before I had a band and we did some cheesy Brit-pop stuff. And then when I heard that record, I thought, I want to do post-punk, some gothy music too. And since then I dived into this rabbit hole of post-punk music.
I also went through a cheesy Britpop phase, so no shame there. I was a big, Pulp fan and Blur and all that.
I still like
Stone
Pulp
Roses.
a lot.
Yeah,
it's insanely good. But but I mean, and when was it? 15 years ago, this big wave and everything that was called labeled indie and Britpop was cool, and most of the stuff, if you listen to it now, it's cheesy, but there is some good stuff that you still can enjoy, I think.
Well, I think another aspect too of maybe, and I hear this in your music when I listen to a bunch of it the last few days, is that I like the clarity for electronic music of your vocals. Now, a lot of it's in German, so I can only my German is so I can't always catch everything there of when you're singing. It's another language, but I love the clarity of the vocals and the emphasis on lyrics. Do you think that that's kind of an influence that came from kind of that Britpop and London style, is that you really like having your lyrics forward and clear instead of maybe kind of the she's passed away post-punk thing
Yeah.
of, having it buried deep in the mix with a lot of effects.
Um, Good question. I a few years ago, like the music of Extra Human was more shoegazy and maybe also more with effects. And I think like with the German vocals, I started a bit later, and that was only like 3 years ago when a Canadian friend of mine, he said, "Yeah, you really should start with German. I like your voice and just try it out." I think then like that was the beginning of the new chapter where I started like the whole band project with what you can hear now, like with German vocals and what you described as clear, pronounced stuff. So that I think that was a new idea. Like I'm always trying new things out. So that was like more 3 years ago.
How do you think that that's been something that is still receptive over to, British, American audiences, things like that? Do you think that you're still able to convey the meaning well and get people on board? When you're doing the German vocals, I liked it and I thought it kind of added a different seasoning and spice that I really enjoyed. But I wonder if you said previously you didn't do that as much. Do you think it made your message easier to get across or your story easier to tell?
uh, like I see it a bit differently. Like for me, more important is how I feel with it, and singing in German is definitely more authentic.
Yeah,
um, like that was something I've always felt a bit like limited singing in English, of course, like with understanding the like or writing lyrics that are not too cheesy in another language,
sure.
but also if you sing it like it just feels less fake if you sing in your own language. And so that was for me most important. And yeah, and I think you can transport a meaning even if you don't understand the language completely. Like
Sure.
for one, and I mean, yeah, and then you can also. I try to translate the lyrics always in English, so at least when you buy the record or you watch a YouTube video, so you can see, okay, here it's already translated to English, and I can understand what is the topic
Yeah.
about. But yeah, of course, if you understand it's your mother language, then it's easier to understand.
Sure. I mean, and especially when you're doing the lyrics, as you said, it's easier probably for you to think them and express them. And the other thing I really liked on the songs is the cadence of it, which I think lent really well to German because it has kind of this like staccato, uh, efficient, tight, like I said, clarity to it, which I've kind of always associated with the German language. I thought when we went to visit Germany, they're a very efficient people that put a premium on kind of the language
Yeah.
getting right to the point and right to the meaning. So I think when you kind of use that cadence in the vocals on it, it lended really well.
Yeah, to be honest, like I was not such a big fan of German language in songs. So there was only a couple of bands I would enjoy, but I don't know. Like I, I opened my mind, and now I like
Sure.
German music too. But like I was more a fan of like British music, as I said, and like I like the sound of English vocals more. But that changed, and now I really. Yeah, I really like that with German vocals you can be really more harsh and it's
Sure.
more in the face, and you can use German words like more as an instrument, or it's or
Yeah.
almost like percussive, if,
Right.
depending
That's
on
kind of,
how
yeah,
you
what I was saying
pronounce
about
it.
the cadence. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. It
yeah,
definitely has that kind of feel of percussion.
yeah. So I mean, if you think about German rock or alternative music, then of course like Rammstein is very known. So I think, but some of the stuff, like I don't like that it's the sound of the German. I don't know, hard to describe. Maybe we cut this out and I start again.
Sure, sure. But no,
Um,
and another one I would hear going back to kind of electronic pop that I thought of when I heard your music would be like Boytronic or something like
yeah,
that. Like I definitely felt like that influence as well. So
yeah. Like German language music, I like a lot. Falco, like if you
mhm.
know Falco, yeah, that's super sound. And then there's a German band from the 80s is called Fehlfarben and Abwärts. So these bands are I really like. This is like West German punk music with electronic wave sounds, and they have a very special and also intelligent lyrics. So
Yeah. So you have a new single that's out called "I Want More." That I heard and I was playing through there that just released in September, and I put it on our Sounds and Shadows Dark Scene singles chart. Tell me a little bit about this new single and what you tried to do that was new and fresh on it and why you're excited about it.
yeah, like there's also a video coming, or
Mhm.
when you hear this interview, then it's already out. So this is like the first track of my new album. So took me like about 2 years to prepare all the songs. So of course, then I'm excited because it's new stuff. But so there's different influences, like sound wise. It's probably a bit. Let me check. I think my cat. Stop. my
Oh,
my
no,
cat makes
here at Sounds
cat
and
makes
Shadows,
noise.
we're a very cat friendly program. So if you have a cat there that you need to grab and let everybody say hi to, that is okay.
Of course.
Oh, it looks like a big one. Oh, what a beautiful boy. Hi.
Yeah. He's a bit jealous when I'm on the
Not
phone
paying
or have a
attention.
video call. Yeah, yeah.
So you were saying that that you're excited for this new single for that reason. Was there any kind of theme for this single that you kind of for this or the whole album overall
Yeah.
that'll be coming out?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds always a bit cheesy when you talk about like these topics of a song, but
Sure.
the song is like, yeah, about like how egoistic people behave nowadays with this neoliberal ideas about self-optimization, and yeah, like the goal is just consume more. Like you work hard and then you spend your money on stuff you don't need, and
Yes.
yeah, and in the end you're just exploiting other people, like even if it's not directly, like in Europe or also North America, like we live we exploit like the poorer people in other countries,
Sure.
if you if you want it or not, but that's the fact. And
Right.
yeah, so that's like an anthem about this.
No, it's a poignant topic, is I think right now everywhere in the world. I know here in America that post-capitalism of really kind of feeling the effects of how far wealth disparity has spread apart is to me one of the things affecting each country more than just about anything else right now. We're getting to a point of because of the consumerism and whatnot of that I think a lot of people can really relate to that idea.
Yeah, and that's quite frustrating when you see it on the discussions of politicians, and like loads of it is based on ideologies and like not, I don't know, solution driven, and I don't know, like so at least like I try to, I don't know, transport this anger and frustration a bit in the songs. And so at least it's better than, I don't know. Yeah, it's not too cheesy, the topic.
Well, that's where your punk rock influence comes in, mixed in with your electronic and pop influence there. When, I mean, that's what it always is. A lot of people now want to talk about kind of separating politics from music and art, but to me, I don't think you can have one without the other.
No, I mean, if you are like a person with moral and ethics, like politics is
Right.
not private. Politics is a way to express yourself. Like everything is political.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a no-go for me. Like, and you need to stand up for your opinion, and tell people what you think, and especially in these times. I mean, in America, but also in Europe, like also democracy is like on a in a risky position. Like you need
Right.
to defend your way of life, like democratical rights, and like I mean, we all live in a scene. We like diverse. What to say? Um, like we like the diversity,
Right.
and this only can happen if I don't know, like we're
you're
not
you're
living in
open
a
to other experiences, open to other people's way of life, and embracing everybody's human rights.
exactly, and respect other people. Yeah,
And you're
sorry,
still
is
under.
it too loud? Like,
I'm surprised that I'm not under attack too right now from cats. So
yeah.
another thing you brought up a little while ago that I think is interesting, is important. You started out this project as just you. You were writing everything, doing everything, playing everything. But I know that you've added in other people to accompany you, so that you can go out and play live, do things like that. Tell me a little bit about the people that you've brought into the project and how that's kind of changed the sound that you're doing now.
Yes. Like in the beginning, when I started Extra Human, that's roughly 10 years ago now. Um, like I wanted to do music that was more like a band related thing. So 1 second, I bring this cat to the other room. If we can stop for 1 second, because I can't concentrate.
Yep. No, that's okay. We'll pause right here.
I'm loving the energy the cat's bringing personally. I've been just
It's a
dying.
beautiful kind of chaos, and that is a gorgeous cat.
I know. Well, it's
I
just
think that was a
funny.
Russian blue.
Yeah, I mean, it was cracking me up when you brought your cat up the first time, and it's just got like the straight brow line and stuff, and then it speaks so. Oh my gosh, I love your cat. Your cat's my new best friend.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No,
All right.
Okay.
So we'll jump back in here and I'll kind of re-ask that portion of the
Yeah,
question.
okay.
All right,
Sorry.
ready? Okay, so another aspect I found interesting, you kind of brought up briefly earlier in the interview, is that you started this out as a project of just yourself, doing everything, all the production, all the aspects of it, and now you've brought some other people into it with you, hopefully to help play live and do things like that. Tell me a little bit about some of the other people working with you now and how that's kind of changed the extra human sound.
Yeah, when I started Extra Human, which is now roughly 10 years ago, I wanted to do music that was in a band context. So in the practice room, writing the songs, but also live. And then, of course, you need other people, and it's also nice, and it's like a special experience to do music with other people together. So that was my way to go for the first couple of years in the band. Yeah, and I think you can hear it on the records. It's more post-punk, shoegaze. Like sometimes I had a real drummer, sometimes not. But really, what I changed was during Corona. Like I had all the time to think about it. And then I just got a whole tour canceled, and then I was on pause. And then I thought, okay, if I start now, what can I do? Okay, let's write new songs, be productive, and then I also thought about, okay, what kind of influences could I include? What do I want to try out? And that was, for example, like with German vocals. Like I tried everything I always wanted to do because there was no pressure. And then I also thought a bit in the future when I go on tour, what can I do so it's easier for me to tour, because it's not so good like money wise when you tour before people. Yeah, so that was one idea, to streamline the whole project a
No,
bit.
I think that's something that a lot of bands are facing right now. Whereas in the past, you're in a van, you're touring around, you have a full band, but that costs money. And to be able to go out on tour right now, you have to stay very lean to keep your tour profitable. The post-capitalism we were talking about. And a lot of bands are looking for ways to save space in the touring van or whatever you're moving around in, and how can you make it tighter and more efficient when you're trying to do that, whether that's using electronic drums instead of a drummer, or going direct line in with guitars and basses and things like that instead of using amps. How can we condense this and get the same energy and sound with less live or organic instruments
And less people in the band.
and sure,
Unfortunately, that's the case. Like, for example, I have a good friend who could play electronical drums on all the shows like perfectly, but that would add for every show. You need to pay
right.
like travel cost, like you need to eat something, and yeah, so you need to be clever, like to because in the end it's also a calculation, like how many concerts can you play, how much money would you lose, because in
Right.
the beginning it's not about making money, it's about like
Getting your name out there and kind of
yeah,
but at least trying to break even to a point.
yeah, like that's the truth probably. Yeah.
So I'm always interested to hear too, when kind of electronica focused artist, for our gear nerds out there, tell me about one new piece of equipment you used on this new single and this new album coming up that you thought, brought something to your sound that you'd never tried before, whether it's a plug-in, a synthesizer you used, whatever it was, but something you experimented with or tried for the first time for this new record.
Yeah, I mean, I used many different new synthesizers because, yeah. So I think one synthesizer that's not so famous, but I use it almost in every new tracks, is a Roland SH32. It's a small box in white, and like some people like consider it as it's like the small, like little brother of the Roland JD 800.
Uh-huh.
So it's more like a 90s trancy sound, but it's amazing for those arpeggiators, and it has the super saw wave shape. It's like really in the face, and you can make really aggressive arpeggiators. I really love it.
Very cool. No, I always love hearing that stuff and love how people think of new ways to use, a variety of synthesizers, samplers, or whatnot to kind of, I don't know, get a sound that feels fresh. And I think the access people have to that now is a lot more because of all the emulators where you can get those sounds without having to own or lug around 40 keyboards on tour.
Yeah, plus also I don't want to spend like 4,000 euros for a 80 synthesizer. So I think that's also a good trend. Like that, I mean, in the scene, like with synthesizer music, I've seen that now, like it's a trend to use more 90s synthesizers and maybe also 2000 synthesizers, because the older ones, they are not affordable anymore.
Sure.
But
No,
but
it's
also
true. And they're heavy.
they are also heavier. But I mean, at the studio, like it's difficult to own them. But also, I see it as a benefit because like it creates new sounds. Like you can discover bands that sound more like 90s vintage, like with
Yeah.
this, I don't know, like you mentioned it, like this 90s sampler, like with low bit rates and like this kind of noisy, harsh stuff. And yeah, I like this kind of, like if you can recognize like that, if an artist used this gear like from hardware gear, but it's I don't know, related to maybe 90s 2000s synths, because yeah, the 80s are too expensive. And also there is tons of bands who already did this vintage 80s sounds.
Yeah, no, that's true. So you mentioned earlier too, for the new single that you're going to have a video that accompanies it. And I always kind of like to hear an artist's interpretation of how much thought kind of went into making the visual match with the music. When you did this video, did you shoot it all and do it yourself, or did you bring in a producer to help you make the video? And if so, who was that?
Yeah, like my last videos, I did more DIY, but this
Mhm.
time I focused more on this track with the
Sure.
video and took more time. And I think the quality is also better, like maybe not like 10,000 euros MTV
Sure, sure.
professional, but something that like uh, a bit more professional. And I did it with a producer. It's also a German guy, Matthias, but it's also linked in the YouTube, so you can check it out. And he's a uh, um, like I got a recommendation about him,
Mhm.
and he's known for actually hip hop and trap videos, like
Very cool.
German ones. And I wanted someone who is like knows trance. Yeah, like I mean, I'm not huge fan of trap music, but I mean, you should also work with people who know what's going on. And
Right.
so that was my approach to yeah, to make it a bit modern and
Yeah. And
not.
somebody who helps you push your own boundaries. If, like you said, if maybe that's not a style of music that, you listen to or, are into that much, but working with somebody like that that brings a different wealth of experience can kind of help you expand what you're doing.
Yes, and now yeah, and yeah, and also like I think like I want to, as you said, I want to try out new things. And like shaping like a more modern picture like about my project.
For
Like
sure.
not so much with I mean, nothing, there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, you can also do like the millionth graveyard golf video, and
Sure.
that's not me. Like it also is not, has nothing to do with my lyrics, so I wanted to another layer, like visual layer that supports also this meaning of the lyrics. Yeah.
Did you have like a discussion with the producer and kind of talk through what the meaning was there so that they could, match that up in their vision of what the visuals were going to look like?
Yeah, yeah, sure. We had like several meetings in before we started with the video, and there was concept phase, and
That's awesome.
so we talked about it. Yeah.
So, Jens, tell me a little bit about if we had another interview 1 year from now, okay, in the future, and we're talking then. tell me about what the future you hope to be, if we had that interview to be talking about what is it you want to do during the next year, whether it's when the new record comes out, whether it's someplace you dream of getting to tour, or a festival that you dream of getting to play or be on. What's the future going to look like for Extra Human for the next 6 months to a year?
Yes. I mean, now I'm happy when the US tour, everything works fine. So the US tour in October. But that's more, it's not so far in the future. And then, of
Where
course,
are you, before you move on from that, you're coming over doing a US tour. Where do you know some of the cities that people will be able to see you at?
yes, like it starts in San Diego. So I will play some shows in California, San Diego, LA, and Sacramento.
Yeah.
And then in Texas, I think Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin. And then I play at Sanctum Festival in Chicago.
Yeah, very cool fest
And
every year.
yeah, like the lineup is amazing. Really looking forward to see some of the bands. And then I think Tampa in yeah, I think and
So
then
the Tampa, you'd be going to like the castle you're playing, or
I think it's New World Tampa, but I've
oh,
been at
okay.
Castle Party after party
Oh,
last
there
year.
you go. Okay, great, great.
So yeah, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's not only tour, but I also have some days to make road trip in
Sure.
Arizona, and so a bit of nature.
There you go. I know it's some beautiful country over there. And when you get over there, maybe be able to come see you when you play over at the Sanctum Fest. Chicago's pretty close to me.
Yeah, looking forward to have a beer with you.
So
um,
we're to the part in the interview now where we're a music review show first and foremost. And so I always kind of like to hear from an artist, what are some things that are new in the scene that are interesting you? Because to me, if you want to make good music, listen to great music, and that's always going to help be an inspiration. And there's so much out there, and I think you might have something that I've never heard of, being kind of tapped into the European scene there. Can you tell me a couple of things that you're really excited about listening to lately?
yes, I could recommend the guy is called Oliver. So the project name is just Oliver, and he released an EP, I think, in the beginning of this year, and there is a collaboration with Die Selektion. I don't know if it's a German band, and the track I can recommend is Das Leben leere Leben. There's also
Okay.
a Contra Void remix available from this track. So both the
Oh, very
original
cool.
and the Contra Void is insanely good. It's modern EBM. And Oliver, this guy is like one of the best producers I know, like
Oh, wow.
seriously. And yeah, so this I can recommend. And
Yeah, you
there's
have
a
to send
whole,
me a link of that, and I'll make sure to
yeah,
include it in the comments
too,
below
too
the interview.
many German words in it. Sorry, but it's worth to. And also Die Selektion. I mean, they are friends from me. I grew up in Stuttgart in South Germany. And I think they released their third album now in September on Aufnahme Wiedergabe. Like this is a very good label from Berlin. So I definitely can recommend this. And then what I discovered just recently, and that was the Spotify algorithm. So
Everyone's
sometimes you discover some cool stuff.
sure.
It's Comfort Cure, and I
That's
don't know.
actually Comfort Cure is from in Detroit, in my
Yeah,
hometown, and a very cool band and friends of ours. So yeah, very cool.
yeah, I really, really like all the EPs from this band. Like it's
Yeah.
insanely good. Like both, and you can also played in a DJ set.
Yes.
So if you play like EBM techno stuff, and then it really fits in well. So I really enjoyed it. But it's
also a very nice guy who has some of the coolest hair that, you know, is like colored like leopard print on the back of his head.
Okay, I need to check out. Okay, this, and then I also can recommend Ian Rings.
Yeah,
It's a
Aeon
guy,
Rings, very cool.
Ian Rings, and the last album, Fully Operational. It's really good. Like the production level of the whole album is insane, and yeah, like my favorite track is Fully Operational. Like it's the title track of the album.
They're getting ready to play a festival coming up over in Tampa, the Absolution Fest. Aeon Rings is doing that. I just did a piece on that festival, and they're one of the bands that's playing on it that I'm real excited for.
Yeah, this is I played last year at Absolution Festival and met him there, and became friends. And actually, I will play with him in Tampa this year too.
Nice,
So,
nice. That's
yeah.
awesome. Great
Yeah.
folks. So this has been wonderful. Do you have anything else that you want to shout out that people can look for and get a chance to be excited for Extra Human? You have the tour coming up. You got the new album and the single. Anything else that you want to make sure that we tell people about?
Yes, I also have our own label. So the plan is to release the album on my own label.
Oh, cool.
So I would like to use the chance, like if you want to check out, it's also in German, the name Wie ein Gott Records. And yeah, I'm really proud. Like I started this label a year ago, and I released like 6 different records so far, and worked with very talented people. And if you're into, like, it's more dance, like club oriented, but EBM, dark wave stuff. Yeah, check it out. Like my artists there, they definitely would enjoy everyone who
I'll make
their
sure
music.
send me over a link to the label as well for like the Bandcamp page and their and your web page, and I'll make sure to link that as well so that people can check that stuff out.
Yeah, but for everyone who's interested in what happens with Extra Human in the future, like the label Bandcamp site is the place to like where you get informed, because then here I will also share what next singles and I don't know, like the album for next year. And I've heard like the vinyl press now, the delivery time for vinyls is not 8 months anymore.
Right. It was tough for a while there. I mean, and so expensive because a lot of the pressing factories, you know, weren't available. So no, it's good to see that things are getting back to normal and people can start enjoying vinyl again and being able to get records shipped out in time.
Yeah, like it's promising. So I hope it won't take too long until I can release the album.
Well, Johannes, this has been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. As always, we like to spin out to one of your songs so that people can get the vibe of the new Extra Human here. So as we discussed earlier, we have the new single out, I Want More. We'll spin out to that. We might even have the video to play by the time we're releasing here. So if that's possible, it'll be the video accompanying it. But get out there, check out the American tour to audiences there, check out the label. And from all of us here at Sounds and Shadows, keep it dark, yo.
Thank you for having me here in the interview.
Our pleasure. Take care and be on the lookout for Extra Human.